Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna, like, restart this for a second. I'm gonna do, a bunch of celebrity crush typed, thingies. Since I, have a bunch of crushes, so here it goes. I will probably be, like, listing or saying, like, 3 things I like of each person. But here it goes. You got the TV show. You got Adam Driver, who's, like, one of the leads, I think, in the TV series Girls. It won a few Emmys. There's a bunch of amazing cast in it. And, yeah. So there's a bunch of cast in that, and, like, won a few Emmys, including, like, Lena Headey, I believe, from Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Then, obviously, there's this film called Hungry Hearts about cleanliness, which was, like, a really awesome movie. I think it was on Netflix, or it still is. I'm not too entirely sure. And there's obviously Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is probably, like, my favorite thing of all time. Just because if you guys were, like, younglings, or, like, you know, you guys were, let's say, born in, like, prequel time, and we're like, is there going to be another saga of Star Wars movies? Or if you guys were, like, original fans, like, you guys saw the originals, like, episode 4, 5, and 6, and 6 was, like, what, 1983 or something? You would have to wait about 22 years later to see, 32 or whatever years later, to see this new saga. I cannot believe it's been 5 years already for this movie. But, like, I really love it, and answered a few of your questions. Where were these characters all along? Where were these characters up to? Because obviously Han Solo and Leia had a baby, also known as Ben Solo, played by Adam Driver. Jackson, if you're listening or whatever, save me when it gets David Hasselhoff. Oh, God. Then you got Anthony Hopkins. He's known for being Thor and Loki's father. He's known for this series called Westworld. I don't know if his character's still on it. It recently got picked up for, like, a season 3. He's known. He's like the creator or something, like John Hamm type thing of Westworld, I think. He's known for stopping an evil vampire, also known as Gary Oldman, with the help of a young Keanu Reeves and, like, a young Winona Ryder in this film called Bram Stoker's Dracula. And obviously, he's my favorite Hannibal actor ever, besides Mads Mikkelsen in Silence Lambs. And there's other Hannibal movies. I don't think I've seen the movie Hannibal, but, like, I've seen Silence Lambs, I've seen Red Dragon, I've seen Hannibal Rising, and I don't think I've seen the whole entire thing of Manhunter, which is, like, a prequel to, like, Silence Lambs. But yeah, I know it's gonna be just next. There's supposed to be a TV series. I don't know if it was rumored or anything, but there's supposed to be this TV series called Clarice Starling, which is gonna be like a sequel or something to Hannibal. So I wonder, is he going to, like, appear? Like, if Hannibal Lecter does, is Anthony gonna appear, or is, even though he's a little bit younger, one of the guys down below, Mads Mikkelsen, also known as Ben Mendelsohn's, like, arch enemy in the movie Rogan, but I'll get to that in a second. Ben's usually known for playing a bunch of bad guys. He's in this film called Vertical Enemy with a few of the guys on this list, including, like, the great Bill Paxton and a few other people. He's known for being, I think, one of the main villains in Captain Marvel. He's known for the series called Bloodline, which is on Netflix, where he's, like, the black sheep of the family with, like, Kyle Chandler from Friday Night Lights, Sissy Spacek, the original Carrie, and a famous playwright by the name of Sam Shepard. He's known for, obviously, ready, guys? Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Getting choked by Vader, threatening Mads Mikkelsen, wondering where the Death Star plans are, and then maybe he'll return for Cassian Andor. also known as like a prequel to Rogue One. Like maybe he will, maybe he won't. Who knows? Especially if he's up for it. And he's also in this TV series called Bloodline, which is a famous Stephen King series. Now, for those guys that don't know, I'm probably gonna like not say anything like if it's a Stephen King thing. I'll probably just say it's a Stephen King thing. Like Bruce Greenwood, that guy right there has like 2 Stephen King movies. So like I'll just be like Stephen King, and I'll leave it at that in case like I say any spoilers or whatever. Yeah. Then you got this guy named Brian Dennehy. Or Dennehy. Give me like a second. Brian is known for being in this movie called First Blood. I think it was like the first ever like Rambo movie, if I'm not mistaken. He's also in Tommy Boy as like Chris Farley's father. You know, that maniac song in the movie with like a young Rob Lowe or whatever. And also there's this western called Silverado with like 2 other guys in this. Kevin Costner and this guy named Scott Glenn. And like Kevin Kline, Jeff Goldblum, Linda Hunt, and a few other people. And there's this horror movie. It's called To Catch a Killer, and like he's just insanely creepy in it. He's like one of the famous, notorious killers ever. That's gonna gross me out. But yeah, and he's also in this movie called FX, which I think was also like a TV series called FX the series, or whatever. Then you got this guy named Bruce Greenwood. He is in these 2 Stephen King movies. There's this one called Gerald's Game, and there's this one called Doctor Sleep. He has a little cameo in Doctor Sleep, but I still won't like say it because it came out like in November or something. Now it's like on DVD still already. He's known for this film called The Sweet Hereafter, based off a bus crash that happened in Alton, Texas. It was like based off real life events or whatever. Like 12 students or something died. 1 student survived and was like paralyzed from the waist down, and the bus driver survived. And Star Trek, obviously, where he is basically like the Yoda or like the, I don't know, Qui-Gon Jinn. Mandalorian, if you want to call him that, to Baby Yoda. Like the one that probably watches over the Enterprise while little James Kirk is growing up. I almost said it while watching over the Millennium Falcon, by the way. I prefer to say watching over the Enterprise. Then you got Burt Lancaster. He's known for one of the greatest baseball movies ever, called Field of Dreams, with the guy that voiced Darth Vader himself, James Earl Jones, this guy named Ray Liotta, and Kevin Costner in it. One of my favorite write-ups. No offense, you guys, I don't really like the film Tombstone that much anyways. But I prefer Burt Lancaster and Kevin Costner's versions of Wyatt Earp. No offense as well for Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday, but I love Kirk Douglas, who was Burt Lancaster's Doc Holliday, and Dennis Quaid, who's down here in a little tiny bit, because I have a bunch of guys to get through. Half of these guys are gonna make me scream probably, but at least I'm fine because I don't have any pictures of them. There's just these ones, but still. Then you got Charles. Did I miss anyone else? No. Okay, good. Then you got Charles Shaughnessy. He's known for playing this British movie producer / stage famous Broadway producer named Maxwell Sheffield in this series called The Nanny, which is a really funny comedic thing. They just recently did a table read about a month ago for their first episode, which was awesome. And he's known for playing Shane Donovan on Days of Our Lives and his twin brother Drew Donovan. Really funny show, even dramatic at times, but creepy at times. But yeah. Then you got this guy named Charlton Heston, who's known for doing a bunch of religious films. He did Ben-Hur, of that famous chariot race. There was the 10 Commandments, where he read the 10 Commandments on the mountain. He was in this film called Midway that has Dennis Quaid, who's one of those guys down there. and a few other people that had a remake like last year or something. And he was in both versions of Planet of the Apes. He's like a CGI monkey, I think, in the Tim Burton version, like 1960, in like the 2000s. And then he was the guy that discovered the ape country in like 1960s. When like I think he was like the Mark Wahlberg character in the original. Then you got this guy named Christian Slater. He's known for the movie Heathers. He's known for an Interview with a Vampire where he interviewed Brad Pitt. He's known for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, the late great Alan Rickman, Morgan Freeman, Kevin Costner, Sean Connery, and a few other people. He's known for Young Guns 2 with like Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, and a few other people. His dad's actually coming up soon on this list. But yeah. Then you got this guy named Christopher Allport. He's known for leaving a trail of breadcrumbs in a way for William Dafoe, for this guy named William Peterson to find out where the killer of his friend is, played by William Dafoe, also known as Counterfeiter. Christopher is also known for this film called To Live and Die in L.A., for that movie that I was just talking about. Christopher is also known for this movie called Savage Weekend, where there's this crazy serial killer on loose, and like they all get killed. Well, mostly all of them do. And like it took me a while, like twice or something, to like watch the movie and see for myself of which guys of like who it was. And there's this horror movie called Jack Frost where there's this killer mutant snowman on loose, and there's this sheriff played by Christopher, like he's the sheriff that eventually finds out who's behind this and everything like that. It's really funny as well. Like not really like that scary, but it's really funny. Maybe like a teen type funny thing, because like there's some dirty talk, but like I don't want to say it type dirty talk. Oh god. Then you got Clint Eastwood. He is known for directing this movie series in a way, because I think he directed this one called Sudden Impact, or did you not direct any of them? But called the Dirty Harry series. It's like 5 movies, maybe a prequel one day with this look like son Scott Eastwood. But he has like a bunch of famous one-liners like, "Go ahead, make my day, thief, you're lucky punk, nobody puts ketchup on hot dogs," and a bunch of other things. He's known for this movie called Escape from Alcatraz, based off of like real life events. Give me like 1 second. But yeah, based off of real life events. But where his character and a few of the other characters, they escape from prison, but like they haven't seen the bodies or nothing like that. There was like a huge windstorm, so nobody knows what really happened. And there's this really great, amazing western called Unforgiven, which is like one of the greatest westerns of all time, in my opinion, of the 1990s. It has great, amazing cast and crew, which won like Clint, I think, its first 2 Oscars. And like a few, I think, from Morgan Freeman or Gene Hackman. God, Jackson, where are you? I'm gonna die. Anyways, he's obviously in for a bunch of other things. Sorry guys, I love them. This next got that to do, so like, if I pause for a second, yeah, I'm like getting excited. Then you got David Hasselhoff. He's known for this series called Knight Rider, which I think he like executive produced or something, and he was really awesome on the show, which like lasted I think 4 seasons or whatever. Then he took a little break to like do some music. Sorry about that. He did a little break to like do some music career type thingies, like the song called Looking for Freedom and a few covers. Like I think last year or something, he did a cover of David Bowie's Heroes and a few other covers. And then there's a series called Baywatch, which he actually brought back. Like I think the show originally had like low ratings, and then yeah, he brought it back with him a bunch of like a few of his friends or whatever, and he like produced it all throughout the whole entire show, even when his character Mitch Buchanan, I think, died or whatever. And he even had a little cameo in the movie Baywatch as this character named Mitch as well. And why not? If you guys have heard him singing, tell me if you guys think that he is the Rhino in The Masked Singer, if you guys have seen the show. Because my mom keeps on thinking so. I'm undecided. Like, he kind of does, and he kind of doesn't sound like the Rhino. I don't know. Then you got this guy named Dennis Quaid. He's known for the remake version of Midway, like I mentioned about earlier. The Charlton Heston one. He's known for this film called I Can Only Imagine, based off of like real events, because like there was this religious band called Mercy Me who were like struggling or whatever, and one of their songs called I Can Only Imagine, I think it's called I Can Only Imagine, is based off of like the guy Burt Miller's father Arthur, played by Dennis in the movie, being like abusive and everything. It's a really nice religious thing. There's this remake version of Footloose that has Julianne Hough from Dancing with the Stars in it, with like Dennis as the father, like the John Lithgow version, and Wyatt Earp, the Kevin Costner, Gene Hackman, Michael Marsden, and a bunch of other Mark Harmon from like NCIS and a few others. Wyatt Earp, like my favorite version ever, apparently. I don't like it. Then you got Donald Sutherland. He's known for sending Katniss Everdeen on this crazy adventure in the Hunger Games, technically, because he's the evil President Snow. There's actually supposed to be a prequel, so why not start with that one? So maybe we'll see like a young him, like de-aged, unless there's like anybody that looks like him, or his son that's coming up soon on here. Kiefer Sutherland could be him, probably. There's this film called Don't Look Now, like where his character's in Venice with his wife, played by Julie Christie or something, and they think that he thinks that he sees the deceased daughter of them, but no, it's not her. It's something more sinister. There's this film called MASH, based off a TV series I used to like from like 1970 about a mobile army surgical hospital. That's what MASH standard for, which was like a comedic thingy. There was 2 cameos from 2 cast members of the TV series. I don't know what came first, because like, it feels like it's like a prequel or something. Or like the movie MASH was first, and then the sequel. But yeah, this guy Gary Berghoff, who played the character Ryder O'Reilly, who usually like spoke before the main character, Colonel Henry Blake, talked. And I don't know who the other guy was, like his character, but his name was Michael Murphy and thing. And he's also in this Stephen King movie that scares me to death called Salem's Lot. There was a remake version of Salem's Lot. Donald was in the remake. The original scared me. I don't think I'll ever see Donald's version, but one of the guys down below, who's in the J section, I put this alphabetical, but one of the guys that's like in the J section, he is in the original. I'll probably say that later, and it scares me to death. Then you got this guy named Ed Harris. He's known for probably recruiting a bunch of fighters in the upcoming Top Gun 2, Maverick. He is known for the Truman Show, the good morning, good day, good night, or whatever. He's known for going up, I think, twice. Like, he helped send, like, Tom Hanks, like, great Bill Paxton, this guy named Gary Sinise, and a few people up in Apollo 13, I think. And he's known for going up in space himself with, like, this guy named Scott Glenn, Lance Henriksen, and a few other people, and that Sam Shepard guy again, for this film called The Right Stuff in, like, 1987. And I think he's supposed to be, like, the bad guy in the series Westworld, like the Anthony Hopkins series. Then you got this guy named Esai Morales. He's known for being the head of, like, elite of vampires in the series called From Dusk Till Dawn, the TV series, based off that Robert Rodriguez horror movie, From Dusk Till Dawn. But yeah. He's known for being in this film called La Bamba, where he's, like, the half-brother or stepbrother of Richie Valens, who obviously wrote the song La Bamba and died tragically when he was 20, maybe even teenager. And there's this film called Mia Familia, also known as My Family, about, like, the Mexican cartel with Jimmy Smits, who played Bail Organa as, like, his brother, and Edward James Amos or whatever as their father, who was in, like, the remake of Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. Then you got one of my favorite Star Wars actors, Ewan Mcgregor, you guys. Woo! He's known for this film called Moulin Rouge, where he taught us we can be heroes just for one day without wearing a cape or without, like, with lightsabers and stuff. Get it? Because, like, there's David Bowie's Heroes, which they cover. It's actually a famous Broadway musical, I think, as well. And this one's just really, really great. It signified his singing skills for later years for, obviously, Beauty and the Beast. I just forgot that name for a second, then I had to snap. He's also known, actually, for, like, this evil crime syndicate named Roman in Birds of Prey. If you guys have seen the movie Halloween, like the 2018 one, he's Danny Torrance, who is basically, like, 40 years after the original The Shining. Also known as after the original Halloween for Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie. Get it? And I cannot wait to see him return and, like, ignite his lightsaber, teach us about the Force, watching him with, like, the baby Luke Skywalker and stuff like that in Kenobi, Star Wars Story, or Kenobi, whatever. Because I don't know why, but I keep on thinking it's gonna be the 2022 movie. Like, I don't think we got any announcements yet, even though I'm somebody way down. Taika Waititi is going to do a Star Wars movie, but I'll explain why I think he's 2024. But yeah. Then you got this guy named Gregory Peck. He's known for one of my favorite horror movies called The Omen, which involves, like, him adopting this little baby boy that turns out to not be just a normal little boy. He's evil. Sort of like Brightburn type evil. He's known for this film called To Kill a Mockingbird. Actually, the writer, her name's, like, Harper Lee Collins or something. And Harper Lee, I think, is, like, Gregory's grandson's name. Harper Lee. There's a few of them. Like, go check out, I think it's his son or his grandson named, it's probably his grandson named Ethan Peck. He looks exactly like his grandpa, kind of. But, like, 30 years old or whatever, and is, like, a famous model or something. And there's this film called Cape Fear. There's two versions of it, actually. The remake was done by, like, Martin Scorsese with Robert De Niro in it. And the original has, like, Gregory Peck, this guy named Robert Mitchum, who was De Niro's character in the remake. And Nick Nolte was Gregory Peck's good character. And De Niro and Mitchum were bad in, like, the original thingy. And this guy named Martin Balsam was, like, the lawyer. But I don't know if, or a judge or whatever, but I don't know who Martin Balsam is in the remake. But 3 of them returned for the remake, though, which is awesome. And then there's this film called The Boys from Brazil. Now, 2 guys down here James Mason right there and Laurence Olivier were both in it. It's called The Boys from Brazil, where Gregory's character... Here, I'll get ready for the next batch of guys. But where Gregory's character tries to, like, transform little babies or little kids to into little evil versions of Hitler. And James Mason down there, he basically like leaves a trail of breadcrumbs in a way to go figure out where Gregory is so that Laurence Olivier can kill him before he takes it over, and like they kill the young boy and stuff like that. Then you got this guy named Harrison Ford, obviously. He's known for not believing in the Force, in a way. He's known for being like, I love you, I know. And talking back to a Wookiee in Star Wars, along with John Williams' iconic score, which we're going to miss. Then again, I'm sure we're going to miss it all, like when he's done Indiana Jones 5, also known as whipping out his whip, putting on a fedora to that dun-da-da-da, dun-da-da. We're going to probably miss that after Indiana Jones. Then he's obviously known for this film called The Mosquito Coast. Now, actually, so in Indiana Jones 3, The Last Crusade, there's this guy named River Phoenix, whose brother I'm going to mention in a little tiny bit after James Mason on here. And River was young Indiana Jones, like at the beginning, like the one that got the whip with Lion. And then he was Harrison Ford's son in The Mosquito Coast. Give me a second, I'm just going to drink some iced cappuccino coffee thingy. Pardon me. But yeah. And then he's known for this, one of my favorite movies ever, called The Fugitive. I'm not going to give any spoilers on. And he's known for screaming, "Get off my plane," at Gary Oldman with the help of you people. And why not? I had to do this project on Sir Sean Connery in like high school. I forget what year, because I think I had to spend an extra year in high school, maybe 2 years. And so I had to like, I think I randomly picked Sean Connery or something, and I had to do a book report on him, like a slideshow picture thingy, or like just like a presentation. I got this book about him, and it said actually that Harrison Ford and Sean Connery were originally supposed to be in Jurassic Park, not Richard Attenborough, who played John Hammond, and Sam Neill, who played Dr. Alan Grant. Alan Grant would have been Harrison Ford, and Hammond probably would have been Connery if they would have accepted the roles, but they probably turned it down or something. But yeah. Then you got this guy named Harvey Keitel. He is known for this film called The Irishman. Like, I think he plays a bunch of gangsters. Like, he was the one that sent Whoopi Goldberg into hiding in Sister Act, for crying out loud. He's the father of vampires. Also, he's the father of, like, these two kids in the From Dusk Till Dawn, the movie. Like, number 1 or whatever. Then he gets transferred into a vampire. He's known for chasing after Gina Davis from like Beetlejuice and I think Jeepers Creepers, and Susan Sarandon from like the movie Stepmom and a few other movies, in a famous car chase in this film called Thelma and Louise, which featured a young Brad Pitt in like his first role ever. And there's this film called The Piano as well, with Sam Neill as like this evil, like jealous or whatever husband whose wife falls in love with Harvey Keitel's character. I feel like I had to say another one, but I may have just said them all. Then you got this guy named James Cromwell. He's known for being the farmer in the movie Babe. He's known for a film called The General's Daughter, like where he abuses or whatever his daughter. He's known for this film called Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, where you found out that Hammond wasn't the only inventor of the park, or like of the dinosaurs. We found out that in a way that Ed Harris and like Billy Bob Thornton and them weren't the only people to send a bunch of great amazing casts in space, as James Cromwell sent up Clint Eastwood, Donald Sutherland, Tommy Lee Jones, and Sky James Garner up to space to go fix the space shuttle in this film called Space Cowboys. And there's this film called Longest Yard, from like 1976 or whatever that the late great Burt Reynolds and Burt Reynolds and this other guy named Ed Lauter were in a remake version of The Longest Yard that had James Cromwell as like one of Ed Lauter's friends. Ed Lauter I'll get to in a little bit, but Burt Reynolds has a cameo, like a huger role than the cameo, but in the movie. Then you got James Mason. He's known for this movie called Lolita, where like there's this teenage girl that everyone finds like attractive, named Lolita, which was like a remake with Jeremy Irons in it, like in the 1990s. There's this. I think he's like the second person to play Norman Bain, which is basically another version of Jackson Maine from the previous Stars Born, and Judy Garland was like the second person to play both Barbara Streisand, because she played a girl, and a version of Stars Born, like the third version. There's like 4 versions, the latest one being the Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper one. But yeah. And I think it won him or got him an Oscar nomination for Norman Bain. And he's, like I said, he's the guy that leaves the trail of breadcrumbs, basically, to help Sir Laurence Olivier with finding Gregory Peck. And he's the normal, scary version. Oh, yeah, and James Cromwell's in the remake version of Salem's Lot 2, like that scary Donald Sutherland movie. James Mason was Donald Sutherland's character, the one that scares me in the original. Then you got Joaquin Phoenix, guys. He's known for Walk the Line, as he plays Johnny Cash. I don't know if it was like Johnny Cash personally or one of his kids that casted Joaquin as Johnny. Joaquin did his own singing, and he sounds so much like Johnny that it's like whenever I hear like the soundtracks or whatever, I'm like, is it Johnny? Like, did they do a Bohemian Rhapsody thingy? Because, like, I think they used a little footage of, like, Freddie Mercury, somebody else, and Rami Malek, who was Freddy Krueger. I meant to say Mercury. I'm, like, tired. Sorry. Or what? Even though Joaquin does sound pretty awesome singing, he may do his own movie, or his, like, own album or whatever one day. And there was, I forget, it was probably like Variety or something, but he's engaged, or like they did get married, to this girl named Rooney Mara, and apparently like he made a wedding song, or like a song about her that he's going to sing at the wedding, or that he did sing at the wedding, because who knows if he got married, right? Then he's known for being in this movie called You Were Never Really Here. Oh yeah, and Walk the Line won him a Golden Globe, but it did not win him an Oscar nomination. I'm surprised. It probably would have. But I'll get to the Oscar win in like a few seconds. Then you got You Were Never Really Here, which is based off this book by this guy named Jonathan Ames. It's sort of like the movie Taken. I'll just tell you it like that. Except like he's not a father. His character's been abused a lot. And really great, amazing movie. It actually won him a Con, I think. Like, Con Award, maybe a few other words. And then, guys. Joker! It's like the highest R-rated movie ever. It crossed like $1 billion at the box office or something like that in like its first week or month or something. It's like one of the greatest villain superhero type movies ever. There's actually a few nods to like a few of the original Jokers. Like, there's a young kid named Bruce Wayne, obviously, who like slides down a pole in a certain way, which is reminiscent of the like 1960s Batman show. And actually, there's this really funny story, and it actually probably also proves to my mom's theory that Bruce Wayne's adopted. Spoilers for the movie Joker, even though it was like a year ago and stuff, that Arthur Fleck Joaquin Phoenix's character is officially like a Wayne, and that Bruce is adopted. But so, and You Were Never Really Here, there's a little flashbacks of like a little kid version of Joaquin's character named Joe. And that character is played by this guy named Dante Pierre Olson or whatever, who actually is like the young Bruce Wayne in Joker. I cannot wait to see if we get a Joker sequel. I love Todd Phillips. I should have added him to the list, but maybe I will next year. I'm like not using him for like pictures apparently at the moment on my phone, because like there's Charles Shaughnessy right there. David Hasselhoff is like a few of my pictures and stuff like that. But yeah. And he's also known for being in Gladiator as the evil Commodus. Then you have Kevin Costner. He's known for this film called Dances with Wolves, where he's like part Indian and part like natural person that protects his country, which is based off of a book. He's this guy named Scott Glenn, who's like down here type thing. That guy, Scott Glenn's brother, in this film called Silverado, which is an iconic western that Jeff Goldblum, Linda Hunt, Brian Dennehy movie. He's in this film called The Bodyguard, which is like my favorite one of his prior to like Wyatt Earp in them. He's probably one of my favorite Wyatt Earp actors. No offense. He's in this film called Field of Dreams, which is the greatest baseball movie ever. The one that I mentioned for Burt Lancaster. He is in The Untouchables with Sir Sean Connery, where they take down the evil Al Capone, beautifully played by Robert De Niro. But yeah. Okay. Then you got Kiefer Sutherland. Now, before I get into Kiefer's, his dad is actually on this list. Donald Sutherland. Kiefer's known for his series called 24, where like he says, "Damn it, Chloe!" I'm one of his supervising friends, and he's like a cop, and he has 24 hours to do it, but every episode goes by like 1 hour, and it's 24 episodes, including like a TV miniseries that happened in like 2012, and then maybe he'll be back again. Then, obviously, there's, like, the movie Stand By Me. It's, like, a non-scary Stephen King book with, like, Corey Feldman, prior probably to, like, The Goonies, and prior to probably The Lost Boys. And River Phoenix, Joaquin's older brother, and a few other people. Based off that Benny King song or whatever. When the night is gone. Like that song. I forgot the lyrics, and I don't want to do copyright either. Then he's known for leading the path to like Twilight and stuff for a bunch of vampires for this movie called The Lost Boys. Cry, little sister. And with Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, and from like License to Drive, this film called Silver Bullet, which is a Stephen King movie. Jason Patric, I think, who was in the movie Speed, and whose dad was like the little priest in the original Exorcist, Father Merrin or whatever. Yeah. And he's obviously known, ready guys, for hunting down bad guys, as he's going to be in a version of The Fugitive on this streaming service called Quibi, or it already has happened. It's like 10 minute per episode thingies, but still, from like the viewer's point of view. And he's in Young Guns 1 and Young Guns 2 as helper to, like, Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen, and a few guys on the list, including one of the Gettys, whose father or whatever, like, the original John Paul Getty or whatever, was played by Donald in this TV series called Trust. Then you got this guy named Lance Henriksen. He's in one of the movies of the aliens, like, Aliens? I don't know. He's the one that taught us who Damien Thorne, the adopted baby boy of Gregory Peck in the Omen movie, really is in Omen 2. There's this film called Pumpkinhead. It's like urban legend kind of thingy. And I think he's actually also goes up with like Ed Harris and this guy named Scott Glenn to go fix out the space station in the right stuff, and maybe it's like the guy that stays behind, because he's like a little bit older in like this picture and stuff, but who knows. And if you guys have seen this horror film called When a Stranger Calls, he's in the remake version, the "Did you trick the children?" like that scary creepy guy that calls. Then you got this guy named Sir Laurence Olivier. Now, funny fact about like this list and like this particular order, Laurence and Liam both played Greek god Zeus in both versions of Clash of Titans. Laurence was the original Zeus in like 1980s Clash of the Titans, then 2010, like 30 years later, with Liam Neeson. Anyways, though, Laurence is known for like a bunch of Shakespearean type movies, and then he did like Clash of the Titans with like Dame Maggie Smith and this guy named Harry Hamlin from the show LA Law. And then there was this film called The Boys from Brazil, probably like a year or two before Titans, like the original Titans. And The Boys from Brazil is like that Gregory Peck, James Mason one. I don't know if I said The Boys from Brazil. Or did I just say, there was this movie, because I forget already. It's been 40 minutes. Sounds like I mentioned, it's like the very first guy. But yeah. And then you got Liam Neeson. Those are like the only three things that I've seen, like The Boys from Brazil and Clash of the Titans for Laurence. Then you got Liam Neeson, though. He's known, obviously, for the Greek God Zeus and the remake version of Clash of the Titans that has a bunch of great, amazing talent, including Ralph Fiennes, who was like Voldemort, and he was the bad guy in Schindler's List, I think. And you have Sam Worthington, who like 2 years later or something, or maybe around the same time, would be Jake Sully or whatever in the movie Avatar. Like the first movie, even though there's gonna be a sequel like next year or something. But yeah. He's known also for being Oscar Schindler in Schindler's List, the guy that goes broke saving a bunch of Polish Jews based on real events, like one of the saddest John Williams scores ever. Then again, I'm sure any of them would probably want to make you get emotional. Speaking of John Williams, wait, am I forgetting something? Oh yeah, he's in the movie Taken as Brian Mills. Watch Taken first, you guys, right before you guys go for You Were Never Really Here, just to give you like a little idea of what you can kind of expect. Except Joaquin's a little bit grittier. And then he's also Alfred Kinsey. Look him up, you guys, because I don't know if kids watch this. He does like something inappropriate, like good inappropriate, but I don't want to say a type inappropriate in case there's little kids. And obviously, he teaches about midichlorians, like what they are, and he'll probably help young Ewan McGregor, or Ewan McGregor rather, in general, watch over like little baby Yoda. Sorry, little baby Luke Skywalker, or little 8-year-old Luke Skywalker. I'm excited for The Mandalorian Season 2 a little too much. And also, teach him how to become one with the Force, like how to become a Force ghost type thingy. Alright.